Welcome to The Explainer. We're here to break down the complex stories that are really shaping our world.
So, how can just one conflict push the entire world to the brink in only 24 hours? Well, today, that's what we're going to trace. We're talking about the global shockwaves from an escalating war in the Middle East, and believe me, this is a story that connects every single one of us.
All right, let's get right into it. Our story starts at the very epicenter of all this, Iran. Right now, a new supreme leader has just come to power, and it's happening in the middle of a massive military conflict.
And this is his first public statement. Mojtaba Khamenei, who is the son of the assassinated former leader, isn't just striking a defiant tone, he's drawing a line in the sand. I mean, this is not some pivot towards peace. No, it's a full-on doubling down on the regime's old playbook. He's vowing to keep fighting and, in his own words, to kick American influence out of the Middle East for good.
But here's where things get really interesting. You've got that fiery rhetoric, and then you have the cold, hard military reality on the ground. Take a look at this. This is Operation Epic Fury. It's the U.S.-Israeli campaign, and its whole goal is to just dismantle Iran's military. And the damage? It's huge. We're talking over 3,000 missile targets hit, their navy getting hammered, and nonstop pressure on their nuclear program and all their proxies in the region.
Okay, so that's the epicenter. Now let's follow the first major ripple as it spreads out. And this one hits us all right in the wallet, the global economy. You gotta understand, this isn't just some far-off regional conflict anymore. It has become a global financial event practically overnight.
$101. What does that mean? Well, this conflict has basically shut down the Strait of Hormuz. Think of it as a critical artery for the world's oil, and it's just been clogged. We're talking about a fifth of the entire world's daily oil supply. So what happens? The price of Brent crude oil just shot past that scary $100 mark. And a number like that, it sends a chill down the spine of the entire global economy.
And just like dominoes, everything starts to fall. You can see the immediate chain reaction right here. That spike in oil prices, it instantly created fears of massive inflation. And that fear triggered a huge sell-off in stock markets everywhere, from Asia all the way to Europe. It's a pretty simple and brutal formula, right? When energy costs more, everything costs more. And investors, well, they run for the hills.
Meanwhile, the actual situation out on the water, it is pure chaos. I mean, commercial ships are getting hit, and nobody even knows who's attacking them. And get this is wild. Some ships are so desperate, they're getting on the radio and pretending to be Chinese just to try and get through safely. That tells you everything you need to know about how incredibly dangerous the world's most important oil choke point has become.
So, we've seen the economic shockwave. The next ripple? This one hits much closer to home. We're now talking about direct spillover onto U.S. soil, and the FBI is investigating.
Unbelievably, in just the last day, we've seen two separate targeted attacks here in the States. One was at a synagogue and preschool up in Michigan. The other targeted an ROTC class at a university down in Virginia. And in both cases, the attackers were individuals who had known links to radical extremist ideologies.
And this is the key point. The FBI has officially called both of these incidents acts of terrorism. That's a huge deal. It signals a major shift. For U.S. officials, this is no longer some distant war happening over there. It's now something that is actively and violently showing up inside American communities.
And it's not just the ideology that's spilling over. The war itself is physically expanding. It's pulling neighboring countries deeper and deeper into this vortex of violence.
Just look at this. It really shows you how fast and how chaotically this thing is escalating. We're talking about just the last 24 hours. There have been deadly strikes in Lebanon, a U.S. military plane went down in Iraq, a huge Hezbollah missile attack hit Israel, and NATO jets even had to shoot down an Iranian missile over Turkey. The entire region is turning into a war zone right before our eyes.
And behind all these military headlines, the human cost is it's staggering. 750,000. That's the estimated number of people in Lebanon alone who've had to flee their homes. It's a massive humanitarian crisis, and it's happening right now.
Okay, so finally, let's pull back and look at the biggest ripple effect of all. Because here's the thing. While everyone is understandably focused on the fighting, some really fundamental shifts in global power are happening, almost in the shadows.
Think about it. While all eyes are on the Middle East, what else is going on?
Well, a huge financial fraud scandal is blowing up in Brazil, shaking up emerging markets. China is moving ahead with a new 5-year plan to become totally self-reliant on technology, basically to decouple from the West. And way up north, Canada is dropping billions to beef up its military presence in the Arctic. See, these aren't just random headlines. These are tectonic plates shifting under our feet, all happening while the world is looking the other way. And maybe the most telling sign of just how desperate this energy crisis has become? The U.S. is reportedly thinking about a complete 180 on a major policy. There are whispers that they might ease sanctions on Russian oil just to stabilize prices. Can you imagine? A move like that would totally change the U.S. relationship with Russia and, you can bet, cause some major problems with its allies in Europe.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's that what happened in the last 24 hours, it isn't just a list of news headlines. These are all interconnected shocks that are literally reshaping our world as we speak. Which leaves us with a really big question, doesn't it? With old alliances breaking apart and new conflicts spreading like wildfire, are we actually watching the world map get redrawn in real time? Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.